Come on in. Today, our guest is Zakiya. And Zakiya is, amongst other things, she is an developmental expert, and she does a lot of work every day to support the programs in schools that are helping all these little guys to do what they need to be doing. She's also a mom, which is how we originally met from her son. But you've got your own goals, and it's your session today. So how are we going to help you?
Well, I think just focusing so much on my son. I had a scheduled C-section, which was unexpected when we planned it, but I made peace with it. I had it, and then things went in a different direction. So I didn't get a lot of opportunities to focus on my body and getting back to kind of my baseline state of health and fitness. And so I'm really hoping to get back into that and start that off this year.
Yay, so just exactly what we want to help you with, getting moving to be healthier and active. Yay. Okay, so I'm Kara Lindell, and I'm the founder of the Bridging Institute and the Bridging Technique, and I'm also an engineer and movement specialist. And so today we're going to be using an engineering-based problem-solving approach to look at the physics of how all the little micro movements are flowing and transitioning, and what we're looking for where there's asymmetries or little glitches in how things transition. And then we'll be using the bridging technique, which is just a series of really gentle stretches and movements within a developmental framework to reset how well her muscles are working together, and away we go. So just a couple thoughts before we get started. You've had one interesting thing that happened to you. You want to tell us about it?
More than 15 years ago, I was hit by a taxi cab while I was walking on my lunch break, and it hit the left side of my body, and it propelled me into the air and landing kind of on my stomach. Fortunately, there was no head injury and no serious fractures or breaks, but my alignment was off, and my body just never felt quite the same.
Okay, so I don't know if that's going to come into play, but just a little suspicious that it will. So we're just going to see what we find and figure out where to go from there. You ready?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to have you step forward just a little bit. And what we're going to do is look at how everything's flowing while you're standing. We're going to check left and right. And it could be a little bit more centered, but pretty good. And then we're going to turn. And you're helping me a little bit. Perfect. Okay, and a little forward and back. So this one, it's just a tiny little thing to improve upon. If I hold below, there's not a lot of forward and back glide from the lower hip area. It's more like hinging forward, and what we want is you to use your whole body. So that may be C-section related. Sit down. We're going to check the same thing. All right, so just a little left and right. So there is a little difference between left and right, and that I'd suspect from the car accident or the taxi incident. We see a lot of people with car accidents in their background. Okay, so those are all nice. I'm going to let you lay down on your back, so head over here. And we're going to check and see how legs are moving, just how all the individual parts are working together. So just I get to do all the work. Oh, that one won't let me. Oh, so there's something in your, the muscles in your legs that are just like, I gotta help. So we'll see if we can, even on turning. So the good news is you're moving, but usually when I find that much helping going on, it's because it doesn't work that easily. So, all right, and same thing with arms. We're just going to give them a quick wiggle and see how everything's flowing there. Nice. And how do they connect in? Oh, that's kind of tight. I'm looking for a little stretchiness at the shoulder. And same thing with this one. Oh, well, that's different. It doesn't move so easily.
Okay.
So, but then again, this is the side that got hit with the taxi. And your shoulder, it doesn't feel totally jammed. It just doesn't feel as available as the right one.
Okay.
All right, I want to see how are things moving in your core. So I'm just going to hold on at ribs and just a little wiggle this way and that. And interestingly, the right side's a little tight.
Okay.
And down here, oh, that's very nice. And I'm gonna reach underneath your shoulders and scoop under. And you can relax your arms. I'm just gonna see if the upper part moves. Yes, and okay, nice. And then let's just see how your head moves. A little to the right, a little to the left, a little side, and a little back, and a little forward. Perfect. I'd like a little easier bit. At least we got all the bases covered and they match. I'm gonna see globally, bend your knees and give them a big hug. And let's see, do you rock? So what's interesting is core moves from right to left, but it really is not so much from left to right. Again, that's the taxi cab side. So put these guys down, and I'm gonna grab an arm and a leg. I'm gonna roll you a little bit toward me.
Okay.
And so that moves a little bit. And let's see about the other side. Oh no. So what's good is that your arm and leg connect into your core, but I like your core to actually roll. And it's the same as what we found when you were holding onto your legs. So there's just something in this left side that's just a little compressed together. Roll over and let's check a couple things with arms and legs with you on your stomach. And this is the way you landed from when you were hit.
Yes.
So let's see, just relax, and just your head can go either way. So just shoulder move, yes. Not quite as much. This one's really easy. This one moves, but not quite as much.
Okay.
And then do you move here? Yes. And you know what? I am gonna have to have you roll over the other way because we got ourselves wrapped up. That has not happened before. Okay, there we go. Just some of you may wonder why we don't use wireless mics. For our setup, there's too much interference. Okay, whoa. Your knee just does not want to easily bend. You can make it, but I was trying without you realizing what I was doing, and this one is the same way. So there's something in your legs that are just sort of protecting. So anyway, tell you what, roll back, but just on your side. And I'm gonna grab a pillow and put you on your side. I wanna check and see, does this left side even move? Shoulder and hip. Yes, it does. This is a little tight. Do you have any recollection of, like, is it a nightmare of, of like how that actually hit you?
The cab ran the light, so I was like in mid crosswalk and it just kind of slammed into me. So on the left side.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna, while we're here, let's just see if we can get your left shoulder moving a little bit better and then figure out what's going on with the legs. Because there's really only three things overall that I'm seeing is that your left side doesn't want to connect up with your right so that you can roll. But the shoulder is just a lot stiffer. And what I'm doing is I'm holding front and back of her shoulder and just giving them a little wiggle so that everything can remember how to work together. So, and then a little stretch as it starts to move. And there. So just toggling through a lot of different changes of angles and turns of her shoulder and her arm. And just making sure all these transitions are going really smoothly. There. So as you're trying to start working out, what are you thinking of trying?
Definitely just some strength training and then cardio boxing.
Oh, cardio boxing.
Yeah.
So this shoulder, getting this to work better is important for both of those. So lifting weights and some boxing, you don't want to be messing up your elbow because your shoulder is all tight. There. And I think you have to do a bit of strength training with helping your son move around. How many pounds is he up to?
Yes, he's over 50 pounds.
Oh.
And that's the other piece. I had to really learn from his physical therapist how to lift and transfer him properly to spare my back and make sure that I don't hurt myself.
Well, honestly, you're in pretty good shape. I mean, I only found a few things, and they kind of match to the big events that have happened to you, so that's good.
Well, that is good.
Yeah. Let's just here. And your wrist is a little tight, maybe because it's used to working with a tight shoulder.
Okay.
There, okay. Oh, that just got all loose and flowy. Yay. We don't know why your legs are being so protective, but we do know that there was a C-section. So let's just support where that would have been, kind of in this area, and see if that lets legs and hips move a little bit easier. And we'll do both sides. So when you have surgeries, it disrupts all kinds of muscle interaction and coordination. So what we find is if we use one of our little squishy peanut balls, or if we use an elbow just to help give some stability and guide all the interactions to work again, through that area again, that they figure it out. It's kind of like magnets going together. Tell you what, while we're here, roll on your stomach one more time. Let me move this. And let's just see if that helped the knees. Oh, yes. Can you tell that's easier?
It is, yeah.
Okay, so what I wasn't able to check before, because your knee didn't bend, is could your hip move? And could it turn? Okay, that could be a little bit better, but your leg is working a ton better. Well, let's see about this one. Okay, that's a little tight, and okay. All right, so we have more to do, but that really helped. So flip over. I'm gonna let you go on your back. Okay. And let's see. I think I'm gonna put your legs up. Put this under them. There we go. And we got the left side, but let's just kind of come more across the whole area of that C-section. And he was breached, so yes. He was positioned across her belly, and so there may be some trauma in here too of how baby was kicking around and not moving or trying to move. So we'll just kind of help all these different layers. So in a C-section, we have had enough moms that have gone through that to get their little darlings. We know that there's 7 layers that get cut through. Yeah. And 7 layers that have to get put back together and coordinate. So we want your legs and your core to work together for your exercising.
Absolutely. And I think just post C-section, just remembering how you don't really realize how much you use those muscles just to do simple things until those muscles aren't working the way they used to.
There. Okay, so that's all nice and wiggly. I know people worry about having jiggly abs, but the jiggly we're after is actually a good jiggly. All right, let's just see. Can we check legs? Now I can turn it instead of you. Yay. And I can lift it. And let's just do a quick refresh of how hip and knee and ankle work together. So I'm just supporting at the knee and using her foot to turn the hip and gradually taking it through a whole lot of angles and positions. There, and let's see how the other one goes. So this one's a little stiffer. So you know what, I'm gonna prop it up because this is back to our taxi side. Yeah. And so maybe between hoods and bumpers and sidewalk. It's really quite amazing that nothing was broken.
Yeah, I was so thankful. It was very scary.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so was the first question in your head like, oh my God, did anyone see me?
Yeah.
I hope people were helpful and nice.
They were very nice. And I was At the time, I worked at a hospital, and I was very close to the hospital, so that worked out well.
Yeah, this is a lot between like knee and ankle. Like ankle is a little interesting. I wonder if somewhere along the line you might have sprained this ankle, or if that was just part of the whole package. Yeah. There. Okay. Oh, that seems much better. So let's see if, and does hip move? Yes, it does. Nice. Okay, I'm gonna take both of them and let me, they're lighter than they used to be. So when we lift, we're checking, paying attention to how heavy does it feel, and it's not a weight issue, it's how connected is it.
Okay.
Like, does it flow as we pick it up, and is it easy? And then if I come up here, does it fold? So if you're walking or doing your kickboxing, if you step a certain way, does your hip and knee automatically follow? Here. And now I'm pushing at your feet, and I want to see the motion just flow right on up. And we can see it through your legs and up to your head. Feel it moving?
I do.
Yeah, and so you're getting bouncy in a good way. Okay, so let's recheck. This side, I'm going to give you a roll. This is the side that moved. That's a little bit easier than when we started. Okay, fingers crossed. Let's see if this left side's going to go for us. Woo! It did, yay. Let's see, what else was, that shoulder was a little tight, so let's recheck that. And actually, we'll make sure that they both match. Okay, relax. That's so much easier.
It is. It feels better.
And then there's a little stretch in and out. And let's see how this one is. Good. And then I'm going to check both of them, how they're connecting to core. So that lifts. So this is your boxing.
Yes.
Boom. Okay, I'm going to check and see if your head's moving a little bit easier. Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, wow. Good. The last thing let's just make sure is good is grab your knees, give them a hug. So I know I was standing in a different place before, but super nice on to either side. So I think it was a little something from that left side. So put those guys down, and you can sit up. And, oh, perfect. I was going to say, then you can stand. But let's check and see if how we're doing. So what's nice, you moved before from side to side. It's just springier and bouncier now. And then turning, you bounce back to the middle. Before, it was like I could turn you, and then you were like, okay, and then I had to turn you back. So now you're the automatic. Okay, do you feel what's different?
It is.
Your feet are working. Fantastic. So just a quick summary for everyone at home. What we found was that of just really basic movements, her left side was a little jammed, especially at the left shoulder and somehow with the left knee and foot, and that was impacting the hip. So that's probably all related to the taxi cab.
Yeah.
And then just her legs were kind of overdoing everything just to keep doing what they could do to connect in. And so by getting all the layers through her abdomen just to be more available so they can work together better, that allowed her legs to relax, and so that your core can actually work with your legs now.
Yes.
So any questions?
No, I think this is really helpful. I feel different, which is nice.
Oh.
I don't feel as tense and tight, so that is good.
Good. So you should be able to get to trying out the weightlifting or strength training and your boxing, and everything should go just great.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So for those of you at home, what you see does look a little simple, but it's the problem-solving process that we go through and then the actual movements themselves. And that's what we teach in our courses. And we also love to meet you in the office and be able to help you, just like we helped Zakiya today. You can find all that information in the show notes. Give us a like and subscribe to our channel so that you can get every episode as it comes out. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.